morning, everyone. As he said, I'm Ida LeClaire, and I am founder of Shine On Wichita. And I help heart-centered entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses and make money in a way that feels authentic to them and doesn't feel salesy. And one of the ways that I do this is to help them stop playing small and unapologetically step into their power. I absolutely love this work because I believe that owning your own business can be one of the most powerful catalysts and motivators for deep personal growth. Because in the end, your business and your success can only be as big and as bold as you are. So standing before you today, I have one multiple six-figure business under my belt. I just sold my half of that company at the end of 2018. I am a nationwide speaker and facilitator, and as a podcast host, I have conducted over 75 interviews with inspiring industry leaders and creatives. I am living a life that is filled with more abundance and freedom than I ever could have thought was possible, and it's because I show up boldly, I'm willing to be seen, and I unapologetically own the value that I bring to the table. But that was not always the case. Growing up, I was a people pleaser. I was like Switzerland, and I was proud of it, I didn't want to rock the boat in any way, even if it meant that I wasn't standing up for myself. I was that shy, nerdy kid who was all by herself on the playground in grade school. And even though I had the spirit of a leader within me, I couldn't see it. And it wasn't until I started my own company and I began investing in it and in myself at this whole new level that true transformation began to happen. I moved to Berkeley, California, and I started my first podcast. I got certified as a professional collective coach. And ultimately, I discovered my passion for this fusion of business and coaching. I finally began to step into my power, and it felt incredible. And so today, as a business and abundance coach, I have the great privilege of being able to help my clients experience similar transformation. I get to support them by providing proven external strategies, but also helping them overcome the internal challenges that can come up and keep them from effectively implementing those strategies, and then we can all relate to that experience. And so the mission for Shine On Wichita really is to help the people that I work with achieve this level of abundance and fulfillment through their business, like I'm experiencing now, even having come from this place of such smallness and scarcity. And the big vision that I have for the world is that all heart-centered work leads to unapologetic abundance and joy. Because I believe that leaders and their businesses deserve to shine. And so let's get to the nitty-gritty of what this looks like. First is the coaching philosophy. Any client that I work with, we work together to cultivate three big main things. It is authentic, value-centered branding, combined with money mindset or abundance mindset, but really releasing the scarcity and fear, and also building up confidence so that they're willing to be seen. And what happens when you cultivate all of these things is you create an ability to easily attract your perfect client or customer and boldly own your value so that you can actually charge what you're worth. And it is a magical thing. So the business model, currently this is what I have in place. I have an in-person funnel in place. And in regard to this free level, we've got speaking and referral-based consults. At the low and mid, I offer business breakthrough sessions and day-long events. I hosted one at my house recently called Business Abundance Mastery. It was a lot of fun. And at the high level, I offer one-on-one coaching packages. In order to scale, what I'm currently building and starting right now, I've hired someone to help me do this, is to create an online funnel. And the primary goal of that is to focus on passive income. That's like the magical phrase, isn't it? And so on the free level, most of these will be moving into online courses. I may end up doing some virtual group coaching eventually, but man, that would be amazing. And ultimately to build up my brand equity so that I'm able to create packages that are $5,000 and $10,000 ultimately, and really broaden the footprint there. So the big goal to achieve this is going to be building my audience. So that means list building. And so some of the ways to do this are through strategic partnerships that could be co-creating content or cross-promotion. Also, we've got speaking to local groups. If you know anyone that's interested in boldness or abundance or authentic sales. and referrals, and also if this is something that you're interested in, staying connected with me directly. So this is my contact information. If you are interested in reaching out to me, that would be great. I have a couple of tiny things to offer. One is I just wanted to share a podcast series that I created that is to help you create a headspace that's fit for a destination vacation, and that is free and available. And also, in the back of the table, I brought little money mints, and they got like little $100 bills, so post-coffee, if you'd like some of those as well, that is back there. Thank you so much for listening to Rolling Space. I look forward to hearing your questions.
Now it's your turn. Birthday girl.
Yay!
Hey, Ivy, that was an awesome presentation. I've known you for a while. I love your passion. I love your ideas. One thing I would like to ask, why the name Shine on Wichita?
Part of it comes from a personal experience of just going through struggle and needing to rebrand. I mean, selling my company was bittersweet. It was like, okay, I'm starting over, but it was a lot of grief. And so for me, Shine On was like, okay, I'm going to continue shining brightly. I'm going to continue owning that. But then I also think it really encompasses, like, hey, Wichita, let's shine on. Let's own our boldness. Let's show up and, be proud and excited and shine. So that's really where that comes from. Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Jeez Louise, hello. Quite an entrance. I have another testimony. I might become famous for these one day. But, I met Ivy when, I'm still young in this new business and mindset, and I met Ivy, and you have a way of making people feel safe, and you fed in so much confidence into me, and I don't even think you realize, but really, I go into new spaces like WEBA and the Chamber, and I'm like, I got this. It's something that you've helped me with, and I push everybody to go in and see her because she really does have a way of pushing you and making you see your potential as a person. So thank you.
Thank you.
Every time I meet you, you're very positive, and I've listened to you speak probably at least 2 or 3 times now. What is something that you do every day to keep yourself so positive, and how can we, maybe share some of that with you?
It's my self-talk a lot. So I talk out loud literally all the time. And I will, even if it's something that's very simple, that, I'm like, oh gosh, I need to make lunch, but I kind of just want to go buy something simple. If I make lunch, I'm like, yes, good job, sis. I just say that to myself a lot. So it's internal talk. One thing that I would recommend that my mom is here supporting me is reminding me to do every day is meditating. I had a pretty strong meditation practice, but I need to get back into it. So imagine where I will transcend to if I start meditating every day. But really, it's that positive self-talk constantly.
So kind of walk me through it. I'm a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm contacting you, and what are you going to, the whole thing of it is, I am a small business. I don't have a whole lot of money. How am I basically going to put you or use your expertise or whatever you want to call it and benefit me for the price that I'm going to pay?
Well, that's a great question. So when we start out, I guess that's necessarily what you're asking. One of the things that I work with, it's a big thing that we work with, is around money mindset and abundance. And the reality is that on the scale of coaching, it ranges from people charging $75 an hour to like $500, $600 an hour. And I have found from my own experience, when I was faced with investing $20,000 in a coaching program, ultimately it was less about the actual reality of the money and more about what I saw was possible for myself and whether or not I believed in myself enough to think that I could earn back and actually multiply my investment in it. And so one of the things that I really work with on people is staying focused on, their big goal, but also being able to access like what is possible. Because, I've seen time and time again, clients come in and they have this fear, they're like willing to do it, oh my gosh, and it's so beautiful when you invest in yourself in a level that stretches you, and for everyone that's different. And then they turn around and like the first client, like I had a client share with me that the first client she got right after was the exact same amount that she had paid me. And it was amazing, So I think, you want to keep going on? Does that answer your question?
So,
Follow-up.
Yeah, follow up. I'm
Okay.
ready.
so as Alex said, and that's a great business model, so then you see what people are going to do and how they're basically gonna help you, but what's your business plan to keep expanding where you're at right now?
Okay, yeah, great. So I would say, again, I think one of the big things that I want to do is create this online courses. I'm going to start with doing a course probably around confidence, and then I would love to create, a range of products that is, on money mindset or on setting boundaries. I mean, all these things are so important. And I do combine authentic branding. So there is that external piece of like, how do we actually literally build a brand? And that's some of the same stuff that you would find, that it's coming from an orientation of how do you create a brand that is a reflection of you, and it is created from your own values, so that you know that when you go out in the world, it's so much easier to talk about your business because you embody it and you love it, instead of feeling like, okay, this is me, and then this is my business, and I have to go out and perform. It takes so much more energy to do that. It's easier to just walk in and be like, this is me and this is my business. I mean, you can see that from Ryan earlier. It's like, he embodies headshots, like, it's, the atmosphere that you're getting just from talking to him.
Hi. So how would you recommend we as audience members go back and tell our coworkers and our friends in like 1 to 2 sentences what it is that you do so we can help
Okay,
expand you?
Oh, thank you so much. My little elevator my elevator speech is that I help heart-centered entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses and make money in a way that feels authentic to them and doesn't feel salesy. And so it's really for people, oftentimes it's solopreneurs, it's people who create or believe that sales is, kind of icky and gross, think that sales is about manipulating, but I believe that sales is about creating value and giving people a choice. And it's just about showing up in the world that way. So oftentimes it's people who are uncomfortable with sales or who are tired of feeling broke, like the same thing that they're doing over and over again. It's like, I'm not making any money, what do I do? There's some kind of barrier in there.
There's quite a few people doing what you're doing right now. So what actually sets you apart from all the other people doing the coaching and, you've just got tons of world stuff you got. So
It's
what
true.
sets you apart?
I mean, can you tell?
What sets your business apart?
Really, I would say that abundance, I think that not a lot of people are talking about it, particularly in certain areas. I think that it's really interesting because I bring to business coaching kind of a spiritual, kind of a hippie, if you hadn't guessed, lens to it. And then I also bring in the prosperity piece, which isn't always found in spiritual circles. Because we all have weird relationships with money. It doesn't matter what group of people you're in. So really helping people understand their relationship with money and also own this boldness. So again, I think that so much of what makes an organization or a company stand out is who they are and how they show up in the world and how they treat people. The other thing is that how many of you really have experiences, like if you go out in your week and you notice how many people you're talking to are actually listening to you? Like really deeply listening to you, not just like gearing up to the next thing they're gonna say. And we do this too, I've done that in the past too. But it's like, there is an experience of someone holding space for you, really seeing you, really supporting you, that is is so magical. And then when you combine that with external strategies of like, here's what you need to do, you know, part of it is the experience, you know, of being with this. I think that those are some of the things that help me stand out.
What are some of your non-negotiables, not only in your business, but personally?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for asking that question. I am very strong with boundaries. And so, for me, I need to be, personally, I need to be in a relationship with someone where I feel like I have choice with that person. So, for example, if I reach out to my friend and I'm like feeling anxious and kind of freaked out, if she doesn't feel like it's okay for her to say, no, I'm not available in this moment, but I'll get back to you as soon as possible, then it like creates a really unhealthy dynamic. I don't feel like I'm able to ask for help, and she doesn't feel like she's able to support me in a way that's genuinely happening. So I need to know that in a relationship, I can say no for this moment, but here's how I'm able to support you, etc. I mean, there's many, many examples, but that's one. And I think, you know, really boundaries are important also in business. So in working with clients, it's so important because I'm not a coach who I come and I say, this is what you need to go do it. Like, we work together to do something, because I think that the most effective strategy is the ones you're actually going to do. So we need to be honest about that, right? And so I think it's so important that the clients that I work with actually take ownership and I help them. And this is one of the things that can be such a beautiful experience about having this relationship, is that it's someone who's saying to you, I see you as strong, and I believe that you are capable of, you know, telling me what you need and taking ownership of this process with me. And so that is also another non-negotiable, I guess. You may negotiate it, but, you know.
So we're gonna piggyback off of the hippie comment.
Okay.
You know, coming back here to Wichita and starting this up, have you had a client that's come in and that you guys, they don't necessarily agree with that? They need more of a structure. They can't think out of the box and stuff. So have you had someone that hasn't necessarily taken great effect to the hippie concept? You know, the free spirit, and how did you guys find common ground in that?
Well, I think that honestly, the people who are attracted to me already are the people who are going to be comfortable with it. And so I spend an hour doing a consult, you know, and just being really honest about what this experience is like and giving people, you know, value in that consult so they can get a sense of what it feels like to work with me. And so then at that point, it's my job as a coach to hold my client as strong and to not let them play small. Because I remember this in coaching school and I couldn't understand it because I was like, oh, what is going on? But like really, if you're not willing to be fire, like you're not going to be an effective coach. You need to be willing to say what is true and what is honest about what's going on, you know? And so maybe it's like, hey, I know that you want someone to come in and like save you in this moment, and I'm here and I can provide you with support and here's what I can do, but trust me, you're going to get more benefit and more transformation from this if you show up and own that as well.
So you as a person yourself, and taking hold of this, how many clients do you think you could actually be effective with?
Fair point, yeah, because it does take a lot of energy, and so I think that is a large portion why I want to create some passive income streams, right? Because I want to be able to support people in a mass way, and then have the one-on-one coaching be through the elite experience. I mean, that's a good question. I think that at this moment, I probably have the capacity for 10 to 15, I would say, like legitimately, really. And that's ideally, like I could do up to 20, but it's like, this is all about when you own your own business. For me, I feel like I just want to create one that, for the most part, it's the life that I'm wanting to create. So I have to build in some of those.
So then are you just gonna settle for 20, 30 people, or are you planning on expanding above that? So it's gonna take more than just you. So how are you going to expand from there?
Yeah, so not necessarily actually. That's if you're focusing on the one-on-one coaching being the only product, which I'm not. So the one-on-one coaching, again, like I want it to be like the special product. That people are like, yes, I've seen you from these videos, I've seen you from XYZ or in my group coaching, and I really want your one-on-one attention. And so group coaching is another way to really expand it to where I can have 10 people in a room that I'm supporting, at a lower cost point for them, and then be able to, so there's so many different revenue streams, but for me, I'm thinking I wanted to focus on these online courses and maybe eventually some virtual group coaching to be able to expand that. But at this moment, if I see myself hiring people, it's to support on marketing, like I'm hiring someone to do conversion copywriting, and she's like really helping me on that. But I don't see myself, there are like big coaching like empires, and I don't see that. That's not my vision at this moment.
We've got that club, we've got worldwide, all kinds of.
Yeah, and that's good for them. And I think, I'm happy for them, but that isn't.
But that's not where you see yourself.
No, yeah.
That's fine.
I had a great presentation. Can you share a little bit about your favorite or most memorable experience you had with coaching?
It's a similar pattern, and it's those moments when, again, I had to really, it was natural and easy for me to hold space and to love on people and everything, but bringing in the fire was really hard for me, where I'm just like, this is the honest reality. So anytime that I've had to do that, I'm like afraid that the client is going to be super mad, and then they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did. So for example, I actually had to have a conversation about raising rates with someone who I had had as a client for a long time, but my rates were like a fifth of what I'm charging now. And I feel like to be in integrity, I need to have that conversation because this is what I'm telling my clients to do, is really own their value. And so the conversation is kind of like, how's everything going so far? What do you like? What do you not like? She's like, one of the things that I really like is that you haven't raised your rates. I'm like, oh my God. Like, do I not have that? I'm like, no. I'd be like, you can do it, you can have it. And so it's like, well, it's interesting that you said that. And it was awkward for me. But she was so funny. She was like, you're doing great. But, there was some weird awkwardness and love this. I opened up my email box the next day and it's like, conversation about rates. And I'm like, oh no. And she owns it. She goes, I really appreciate this so much because, that conversation was hard, but I realized that I was in scarcity and that I didn't think that I deserved the kind of, value and support that you were providing me, and I realized that I deserve that now. And you're like, oh, like this is amazing, like this was a transformation that she had, and it was also a transformation that I had because it was like, okay, this is affirming that I need to stand up, be strong, and be honest, and hold people as strong.
Any other questions? All right, then I'm going to do it. I mean, what can we as a Wichita community do for you?
Strategic, really helping to create that audience. So strategic partnerships. Also, in the back, I've got those little mitts. But really, if you are interested and feel inspired to stay connected, you can write down your name or come up and talk to me and give me your card and we can connect later. That would be amazing.
Let's give her a hand.